Okay, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Strip Club. And I've missed you guys, honestly, but I'm back at it. And today I want to talk about something that gets thrown around way too casually. People love to say men are afraid of commitment. And, I'm going to talk about it today. You hear it in conversations, you hear it on podcasts, you see it in the comment sections. A woman says, I am tired of men wasting my time. And nobody jumps in with, girl, men just don't want to commit anymore, you know? Now, listen, I'm not here to defend every man. Some men are absolutely playing games. Some men are out here acting like they're in a relationship with you, your best friend, the gym girl, and somebody named Do Not Answer in their phone. Um, but let's not pretend those men don't exist. All right. Um, I want to talk about the men who are not afraid of commitment. They're afraid of what commitment has cost them before. And that's who we're going to speak about today. Because a lot of men, commitment just doesn't mean choosing someone. It means slowly losing pieces of themselves during the entire process, right? It meant losing their peace. It meant losing their friendships. It meant losing hobbies, losing time with their kids. It means losing their voice. And in some parts, it means losing a version of themselves that they used to recognize. See, nobody talks about that side of it. See, a lot of men, they've been in relationships where the price of love was silence, where the only way that they kept peace was to stop being honest, where every disagreement turned into a trial, even boundaries turned into accusation, and every attempt to explain himself turned into him being told he was being defensive. You see, after a while, you stop explaining, you stop speaking, you stop trying, and you just start surviving. Then, when that relationship ends, people ask, why is he so guarded now? Well, because the last time he opened up the door, somebody moved in and rearranged the entire house. And I don't mean furniture, I mean his identity. You see, some people act like men just wake up one day and decide, you know what? I'm going to be emotionally unavailable today. Like we have a morning routine: brush teeth, wash face, drink some coffee, avoid vulnerability. No. See, a lot of men became emotionally unavailable because being emotionally available was used against them. You see, they opened up and they were mocked. They cried and they were looked at differently. They shared fears and they were told they were weak. They expressed needs and were told they were selfish. They asked for space and were accused of not caring. So now, when commitment shows up, they don't just see love, they see risk, high risk. They see exposure. They see the possibility of being trapped in something that looks good to everyone else, but feels suffocating behind closed doors. See, and that's the part we have to be honest about. Some relationships look beautiful in photos, but feel like emotional prison in real life. You ever see a couple post the most romantic caption and you already know they argued for 45 minutes before the picture? Love of my life, my peace, my forever. Meanwhile, he was in the car saying, can we please just enjoy brunch? You see, social media has made commitment look like aesthetics. Matching outfits, date night reels, airport videos, engagement shoots in the rain. Everyone wants the look of love. But love is not just how it looks. Love is how safe you feel when the camera is off. Love is how free you feel to be yourself. Love is whether your nervous system relaxes when that person walks in the room or whether your body immediately prepares for conflict. And that is why some men hesitate. Not because they don't want love, but because they've learned that love without peace is not love, it's labor. Now, this is where some people will say, well, men need to stop bringing old trauma into new relationships. And I totally agree with you. You see, you can't punish a new person for what an old person did. But we also have to stop acting like healing is instant. See, you don't go through betrayal, divorce, emotional manipulation, financial pressure, custody stress, or years of feeling unseen and then just wake up ready to be someone's boyfriend because the vibes are good. That's not healing, that's pretending. And too many men, they're pretending. They get into something new before they've processed what happened in the last thing. They say that they're ready, but really they're lonely. They say they want peace, but they haven't learned how to create peace within themselves. They say they want a healthy relationship, but they still flinch every time a woman raises her voice because it reminds them of the last war they barely survived. And that is why this conversation matters. Because commitment is not scary when you know who you are. Commitment becomes scary when you don't trust yourself not to disappear again. So let me say that again. Commitment becomes scary when you don't trust yourself not to disappear again. See, some men are afraid that if they love too deeply, they stop choosing themselves. They stop going to the gym. They'll stop seeing their friends. They'll stop chasing their purpose. They'll stop saying no. They'll start apologizing for things they didn't do just to end an argument. They'll start shrinking to make the relationship work. And then one day they'll look in the mirror and say, how did I get here? And that's not commitment. That's self abandonment, dressed up as loyalty. And we need to stop calling every man selfish just because he's finally learning not to abandon himself. Now, men, we have a responsibility in this too, because some of us confuse boundaries with walls. You see, a boundary says, this is what I need to stay healthy. A wall says, nobody's getting close enough to hurt me. See, there's the difference. And you can protect yourself without becoming impossible to love. You see, you can move slowly without playing games. You can be cautious without being cold. You can say, I'm interested, but I'm also healing. The problem is, too many men don't communicate that. They just disappear emotionally. They keep one foot in and the other foot out. They want the benefits of connection without the responsibility of clarity. And that's not fair either, because healing does not give you permission to hurt people. If you know you're not ready, just say that. If you know you're rebuilding, say that. If you know your life is complicated, say that. Honesty may disappoint someone, but confusion, it damages them. And there's a difference. So, to the woman watching this, I'll say this respectfully. Sometimes when a man moves slowly, it doesn't mean he's playing you. Sometimes it means he's listening to his life. Sometimes it means he's trying to not repeat a pattern. Sometimes it means he's taking his time because he understands that love is not just chemistry, it's also compatibility, timing, emotional maturity, and capacity. And guess what? Capacity matters because a man can love you and still not have the capacity to build with you. A man can care about you and still know he's not enough to show up the way you deserve. A man can be attracted to you and still recognize that the attraction is not the same as alignment. And grown people need to respect that. But men, let me bring it back to us. If you're afraid of commitment because you lost yourself before, the answer is not to avoid love forever. The answer is to become so rooted in who you are that love can add to your life without taking you away from yourself. That means knowing your values, knowing your non negotiables, knowing your triggers, knowing your patterns, knowing when you're being cautious and when you're being cowardly. Because, yes, sometimes we call it healing when it's really fear. Sometimes we call it peace when it's really avoidance. Sometimes we call it protecting our energy when we're really just scared to be seen. That's the uncomfortable part. You see, healing is not just identifying what hurt you, it's making sure you don't become someone who hurts others because of it. So maybe the better question is not why are men afraid of commitment? See, maybe the better question is what kind of commitment are we asking men to enter? Are we asking them to enter relationships where they can still be men with purpose, friendships, faith, fatherhood, flaws, dreams, silence, pressure, and humanity? Or are we asking them to become emotional employees in someone else's fantasy? Because a healthy relationship should not require a man to disappear. It should not require a woman to disappear either. You see, love should not erase people. Love should reveal them. Love should make room. Love should make you more honest, not more hidden. Love should give you courage, not constant anxiety. And love should challenge you, yes, but it shouldn't consume you. And if commitment has only ever felt like consumption, I understand why men run from it. But the goal is not to run forever. The goal is to heal enough to recognize the difference between a relationship that wants control and a relationship that wants to grow with you. Because they're not the same. The right commitment will not feel like a cage, it will feel like accountability with oxygen. It will feel like partnership without performance. It'll feel like being chosen without being owned. And when a man finds that, when he has done the work, when he trusts himself, when he is not just looking for escape or validation, commitment does not scare him. It strengthens him. So, no, not every man is afraid of commitment. Some men are afraid of repeating a version of love that made them forget who they were. And maybe before we judge that, we should ask what he survived. Because sometimes the man who looks unavailable is really just trying to make sure the next time he gives his heart, he doesn't lose himself in the process. And that's a real conversation. So as you watch this, ask yourself, have you ever looked at someone in a way that made you disappear? And if so, are you healing or are you just hiding? Because there's a big difference. So until next time, protect your peace, tell the truth, and make sure love never costs you the person God created you to be. And as always, as I always close, stay stripped.